I cannot believe it's taken this long for a Star Wars game to drop on this channel. I love Star Wars, have for a long time. The relationship can be a bit rocky, not gonna lie, but I still have a fondness for this series and celebrate the things it does right. And this game is definitely one of them. If you remember, not too long ago, EA put out a string of Star Wars games that didn't exactly land the TIE Fighter that well, if you know what I mean. And it wasn't until EA lost exclusivity of making Star Wars games did they have one that's a bona fide hit. Respawn took their shot at it, making a game that takes ideas from Uncharted and the newer God of War games and made an excellent adventure. I really loved Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. It has a great lead character in Cal Kestis, a ragtag group of side characters, Sith baddies that you should fear, and more Star Wars good stuff. It was free on PS Plus for January, so many people have it and can play it, and it's getting a sequel at the end of April, so Respawn EA done good with this one. But how about trophy-wise, as that's always the big question here on Platinum Hunters? Well, yes. Mostly yes. Maybe with a few small nitpicks. I'm allowed to nitpick. So with all those things put together, we are in for a wild, whimsical trophy run that we are going to use the Force to discover. This is Platinum Hunters, the show where we take a look at everything it takes to get the Platinum Trophy and whether it's worth the effort to achieve it. Yes, this is the first Star Wars game on the channel, but if you're looking for a game kind of like this, definitely check out my God of War Ragnarok trophy guide video, or even the first God of War. If you haven't played that one yet either, check it out, it's on the channel. And don't forget to subscribe for more trophy guide videos just like this one, because you might just find your next Platinum Trophy. Fallen Order's trophy run is a fairly straightforward one and might remind you of the trophy run of God of War 2018 and Ragnarok if you have played those. But these trophies are really broken down into three categories: story, collectibles, and combat. There are plenty for each and you should tackle them in that order. Beat the story first so you unlock all your Jedi powers, and then tackle the collectibles after that. It's better to do it in this way because many collectibles will require you to have those said Jedi powers to access them in the first place. There are a few exceptions to this where you should collect them as you go, but we will cover which trophies they are as we get into it. Then clean up the combat, which again is better after you complete the story thanks to unlocking the meditation training. We will get into why that mode is so special, but in a nutshell it allows you to create combat scenarios, choosing which enemies to fight, and that is very helpful for all of the combat trophies that have certain criteria. There are a few other trophies to pick up along Cal's journey, and all of it can be done in roughly 25 to 30 hours on any difficulty setting you wish. Nothing missable. Not a hard Platinum Trophy run at all, but I'll make sure you stay on the right side of the Force with this trophy guide. If you need any additional help, I have more helpful guides in the description below to assist you. Let's start our Amnesiac Jedi's journey with the 11 unmissable story trophies that I'm keeping a secret from you guys to avoid spoilers. You will have to reconnect with the Force so you can see which ones they are. With Jedi Fallen Order, I found that this game gets better and better as the story progresses. For me, it started kinda slow, but it really crescendos at the end. And now I'm absolutely excited for Jedi Survivor to drop. Cal Kestis is a great character and I'm a big fan of his real-life actor Cameron Monaghan. He played a mean Joker in the Gotham series, and I really hope Cal Kestis appears in the new Mandalorian season. We will see if I'm right. Sit back and enjoy the story on any difficulty you like, and then when you are done, we can tackle our next set of trophies. Aside from 2 sets of collectibles we will cover first, I recommend leaving the collectibles until after you complete the story, or at least till before the point of no return level. This is because there are a bunch of Jedi abilities and helpful tech that you will need to reach a lot of these collectibles. So it's up to you if you want to get a jump on collectibles, but you will be revisiting these places again anyways, when you need to get all of these sets of collectibles. I don't want to mention this over and over with every new collectible type we cover, so I'll say it now. I have a whole playlist of videos that will get you all of these collectibles in the description below. Go there, follow it, it will help you. Let's talk about this collectible trophy first, because it's not something you want to forget about. For the Green Thumb trophy, you will have to locate 10 different types of seeds from 10 very funky alien looking plants, and then take them to Grease's terrarium on the ship and fully grow them. On all the planets you will come across these special plants native to the region, and you can bring a seed back to your ship to grow. So essentially find and grow these plants. What's so bad about that? Well, it takes time to grow these seeds, so if you leave these collectibles for last, you might be twiddling your thumbsticks at the end of the trophy run, waiting for these plants to grow. So prioritize them first so you can grow them in the terrarium while you're collecting everything else. The seed locations are in the collectible guide, so start with that, and then we can pick a planet and start collecting for real. Another trophy you should be shooting for right away is the Data Collector trophy, where you need to scan all enemy types. This trophy involves slicing up enemies, then scanning them for research purposes. In your databank, you can track which enemies you have scanned and on which planets they are found. Make sure that when you kill a new enemy you haven't seen before, have BD1 scan it. This includes the Stormtroopers and Imperial Troopers. Some creatures / enemies, especially bosses, that can't be scanned, don't worry, they are added automatically. We will cover some examples of this later in the guide, but don't wait until the end of the game to start collecting these and scan every new enemy you kill. The rest of the collectibles from here on, you can relax and get them after you enjoy the story. What you are ultimately aiming for is the A Galaxy Far, Far Away trophy for completing all of BD1's Holomaps. This is a fancy way of saying you have to 100% explore all 5 planets, and on your ship when you're choosing a planet, it will tell you what percentage you explored. You can also see your overall percentage when you pull up your map in the menu, and can I just vent for a sec? This map sucks to use. Holy moly, please fix this for the sequel. It's good in that it tells you what you're missing in any given area, but actually, using the map for navigating, you know what a map is actually used for? It's terrible. Now, in order to fully explore a planet, you will need to find a bunch of things in the environment. I'm not entirely sure the full scope of things that unlocks the 100%, but it definitely includes chests, secrets, and pathways. If you see somewhere on the map that's available and you haven't been there yet, make sure you go there. The green, yellow, and red doors are good clues as you probably haven't gone to that area yet. The secrets are mostly made up of Force Echoes, but they also include this special type of yellow chest that we will talk about in a bit. But the surefire way to increase the percentage is the chests and secrets, and they get their own trophy. The Collector trophy is for finding all 107 chests and 32 secrets. These are found in nooks and crannies on each planet and make up the majority of the exploration percentage. You can track how many of these you have in the same way as the number in each area appears in the map menu. Some of the chests will have to be collected later on in your adventure, as you will need a new ability to get it or a new BD1 upgrade to even open the chest, so I can't stress enough that you should do all your collecting after the main story is done. One type of chest is yellow and has health upgrades in them. For the Medical Droid trophy, you have to find all 8 of these yellow chests so you can increase the amount of BD1 Stim canisters you have to the max. More on-demand health is always a great thing. These 8 chests are not part of the 107 count, but instead are part of the 32 secrets, so you need them for more than just this trophy. Inside of the rest of the chest, you will find a bunch of cosmetics for Cal, the Mantis ship, and even BD1. So very early on, you can scratch the full glow up trophy off your to-do list, and all you need to do is customize Cal, BD1, and the Mantis ship, each with a new skin you've unlocked. They're all found inside these said chests, and you only need to find a few in order to equip the skins and get the trophy. Just one for each will do the trick. Same situation for the Sabersmith trophy, where you have to fully customize your lightsaber. Making a custom lightsaber is so rad, and you can change the way it looks, the design pattern, and even the color of the light. There are 5 parts to it, and you just need to equip something that is not the default skin for each of the 5 slots. Quick and painless trophy you will get after you open a bunch of chests up. All that work was put into just completing BD1's Holomaps, but that's not the only thing our little Wally looking buddy needs. Now there's the Data Disk trophy, which you get for finding BD1's encrypted logs. Now don't panic if you have started the game and know what I'm talking about. You will only need the ones under the Cordova's Journey part of the databank, and there are 19 of them to find in that section. Another good piece of news is that a lot of them are even story related, so for the rest of them, check the guides I provided for the locations of just these Cordova's Journey encrypted logs. You know you're on the right path when BD1 hops off your shoulder and wants to scan a particular point of interest. It could be one of those encrypted logs. The last collectible is Force Echoes, which come in 2 varieties, and they are for their own trophy called Echo Location. You have a total of 100 of these scattered across the 5 planets, but to pop the trophy you will only need 75 Force Echoes, so 3/4 of that count. The bigger Force Echoes that also count as secrets that increase your max life and force gauge also count. These smaller echoes are interesting if you want more lore on what's transpired on this whole Order 66 kill all the Jedi thing that happened. Now, if you find the bigger echoes, they will count towards the trophy, but the smaller Force Echoes don't count as secrets. Am I confusing you? Yes. It's weird, just go with it and collect the 75 you need, whether they're the big ones or the little ones. The next run of trophies are all related to combat and using your force powers. Cal has a lot of very powerful abilities at his disposal, and he is slowly tapping into their full potential. There are going to be a lot of trophies that say do 20 of something or defeat an enemy in a certain way, and I'm going to help you find the best ways to do this. You can start working towards these trophies as you play if you want, and many will come naturally without thinking about it. But you'll get something special after you complete the game that will make cleaning up these trophies super simple. After you beat the game, you will unlock the meditation training, which will allow you to participate in combat challenges or participate in the battle grid. It's the second feature that's most important, as you can literally choose the enemies you want to fight and how many of them you want to spar against. This includes all the enemies in the game, and this feature is hella impressive. You can even set infinite health, infinite force meter, and some other neat perks. I wish every game had this because it made cleaning up these combat trophies incredibly easy. So I recommend using this feature to collect missing trophies, and you're going to hear me reference it a lot for all of these combat scenarios. But first, let's talk about the Jedi Sphere Grid here that has 33 new abilities that you can unlock and collect for the Feel the Force trophy. These upgrade your current abilities, upgrade the abilities you collect from the story like Force Push, Pull, etc. And some of these upgrades will give you more health and force power, or straight up give you new abilities like the Lightsaber Throw. You will be able to purchase these upgrades with skill points that you collect from leveling up via slashing down gratuitous amounts of stormtroopers, Imperials, and the local hostile creatures native to the planet you're on. Then just go to a meditation point and purchase the upgrade. Some are worth 1 or 2 points, and a few are worth 3 skill points. The skill tree will expand as you get closer to the end of the story. I'm making a bigger deal about what it is. Essentially, it's a skill tree, because some of these combat trophies we're going to cover require some of these upgrades. There is the kicking back trophy that requires you to kick back a PLAT that has kicked you. A PLAT is this weird mountain goat yak hybrid creature, and now you're gonna let him know how it feels. It will require the evasive kick skill from the skill tree, and when he eventually gives you a buck him back for this easy trophy. While you're at it, get the kickoff trophy for defeating an enemy with only evasive kicks. So keep booting the enemy till he's had enough, essentially. I found the evasive kicks don't do that much damage, so I switched to an enemy like these squishy exploding bugs in the battle grid. Eventually killed one of them and boom, another trophy down. While we're evading things, we can talk about the can't touch this trophy. You will need to have the precision evade skill from the skill tree, and you will have to use it to get out of the way of 100 attacks. This ability helps you get those last minute clutch dodges, and you know you did it right when you press the dodge button right before the hit and time temporarily slows down. Keep using that for the trophy and you might just get this one naturally. The precision evade is one way to dodge an attack, but you can also parry melee strikes to disorient your foe and strike back. And of course, you need to do this 100 times to pop the perfect timing trophy. Press the block button right as the enemy strikes you and you will successfully parry the enemy. But what about if they're shooting at you? You can block those too, you're a Jedi after all. There is a trophy for ejecting blaster bolts and it's called Back at You. You need to press the block button just like a parry when an incoming blaster bolt is about to hit you. It will send it right back at them and you will need to defeat 50 enemies this way with their very own firepower. This next one is a fun one and requires you to grab the lightsaber throw skill from the skill tree. Once you have that, aim for the triple take trophy and kill 3 enemies with one throw of the magnificent saber. The radius isn't huge when you throw it, so I went into training and set up some one-hit kill troopers like bowling pins. Then launch the lightsaber, and if you hit 3 or more, you have yourself another trophy. While we're talking about lightsabers, Cal will have 3 modes for his saber close to the end of the game. And for the Blade Master trophy, you'll have to use all 3 blade types on one single enemy. So preferably the enemy should have lots of health so you can hit him with the double-sided blade, then switch to the standard single-sided blade, and finish him off with the lightsaber dual wielding by holding L1 and pressing square when your single-sided blade is out. That will allow you to hit all 3 types, and just make sure you use all 3 on one enemy. I've already seen that Cal is going to get more lightsaber modes in the next game, and it's hype as hell. With this next trophy, BD1 is getting in on the action. There are moments where you can hack certain droid enemies like this floating trash can right here. Now for the Don't Mess with BD1 trophy, you'll have to hack a droid and then watch it defeat an enemy. The best thing you can do is hack this big droid here after you whittle its health down. For sure this big boy will get the job done. You're gonna need one or both of the hack droid upgrades though, which will be found at certain workbenches on different planets. Just make sure you go to every new workbench you find. The rest of these combat trophies involve force powers, and we can get really creative with a combination of these. Let's start with the Not So Fast trophy, where you have to defeat 25 enemies under the effects of Empowered Slow. You will gain the slow ability as part of the story, but you can take it one step further. Go into the skill tree and purchase the Empowered Slow skill, and when you want to use it, make sure you hold the slow skill button until you see Cal fully unleash it, in which he will put his hands outward. This makes the slow effects last longer. I recommend jumping back into the arena and putting a bunch of one-shot stormtroopers to kill. Infinite Jedi Gauge is handy too. Defeat 25 enemies under the charged up, empowered slow effects, and that's another one down. The Force Push and Force Pull powers are not just for puzzles and traversal. Like for example the Look Out Below trophy, where you can use your Force Push to launch 25 enemies off cliff sides and into bottomless pits. In gaming, the simple act of sending an enemy off the edge of something never gets old, and having a force push ability to do just that is awesome. Even better is using force push to throw an enemy into another enemy. This vulgar display of power will get you the bank shot trophy. If they are lined up, just use your force push, but you can also use force pull on them first, aim and then hurl them at the enemy with force push. Just remember that in order to get the trophy, it has to be a lethal blow to the enemy, getting a meat sack thrown at them. You'll need these two force powers combined together for the Big Bang trophy, where you have to defeat 20 enemies with explosions. You will fight stormtroopers who blast rockets at you or sometimes throw grenades at you. Well, you can return these little gifts to the senders by using force pull at the right time to catch them and then throw them back. Same action as before, but now with explosives. Do this 20 times for the trophy. This next one is a little bit tricky, but I'll show you how to get it done. It's the What Goes Around trophy, and it's for defeating an enemy with their own blaster bolt. It's going to require one basic stormtrooper, your slow ability, and force pull. First, wait until the stormtrooper is about to shoot a bolt at you, then quickly use your slow ability on him. If you caught him at the right time, the blaster bolt should be slowed down as well. Then simply force pull the stormtrooper, and wowzers, that's a bit much, Cal. The stormtrooper had a family, and hopes, and dreams. Just kidding, fuck him. And finally, our last combat trophy is called Cal Got Your Tongue, and this one is a bit mean-spirited too by Jedi standards. You will need to slice off the tongue of an enemy called an Ogdo. You can either find one on the planet Bogano or spawn one in the battle grid. Just use your force pull ability on the front of the Ogdo, and when you have his tongue in your hand, slice it off with your lightsaber. Again, it's pretty mean, but if that gets us our last combat trophy, then so be it. We have 4 more trophies left to cover in this guide, and they are not endgame stuff, but more like late game trophies, so I've stashed them towards the end of the guide to avoid some spoiler stuff. But drop a like or comment to let me know you made it this far into your Jedi training, and here we go with the rest of the guide. A lot of these trophies you'll be able to do after collecting all your Jedi powers, as your path is going to be blocked in most cases. Some of this stuff is also spoilerish, enough that I'm issuing a spoiler warning right here, right now. Proceed if you are far enough into the game, or if you just don't care that much. After you get your always stylish looking Jedi double jump, you can visit the crashed Venator part of the Zepho planet and get the Visiting Alderaan Places trophy. You can access this place from the crash site part of the Zepho map, and this place called the Venator Wreckage is the remains of a starship that fell onto the planet. In order to get the trophy, you will have to follow the main path all the way through the Venator Wreckage to the end where it loops back to the crash site area. This place also has chests and secrets, so you will need to fully explore it anyways. Then we have to recruit all members of the Mantis crew for the Full House trophy. Now the trophy says all, but that's a big understatement. Like, we ain't building a crew like in Mass Effect 2 here. We have Cal, Sari, Grease, and BD1 already, and our first new member after that is part of the story, and she is Marin of Dathomir. I think this character is awesome and a great addition to the team. Then the last member is found on Bogano in a cave right under where you land your ship. You will need force push before you can recruit it. But it's a furry little bogling, and it will stow away on your ship after you free it from this cave. It's a ragtag crew for sure, but it's family. Now we have some hunting to do, and the first targets are actually hunting you. The Scum and Villainy trophy is awarded for defeating the 3 bounty hunters chasing you down. The first one, the Haxon Brood Bounty Hunter, is part of the story in a cool moment that you're not going to expect. The other two will randomly ambush you, and they will update the Haxon Brood Commando and Haxon Brood Bounty Droid parts of the databank. There will be many random bounty hunters and threats roaming around, but you won't get the trophy unless they update those two categories. I got this trophy before beating the game, so don't worry. They're aiming to find you, so don't worry about finding them. Then our very last trophy of the guide is the Legendary Beasts Trophy. Now you will have to fight 4 mysterious creatures and defeat them. Same deal as the bounty hunters, except now you have to find these creatures yourself. On screen now are the 4 beasts and their locations. These are beefed up versions of some of the local creatures, and they are inside of side paths and off the beaten path. I have a video below showing you their locations, but doing the other collectibles you will pretty much end up finding them. Once you defeat all 4 of them, the trophy is yours, and that's the end of the trophy run for this first part of Cal Kestis' journey. Man, I cannot wait for the next part now. Give me Jedi Survivor now. This story is really ramping up, and if it follows the same structure as the original trilogy, Jedi Survivor is going to be the Empire Strikes Back of this series of games, and shit is going to go down. But as for this game, if you've customized the badass lightsaber, met some awesome new crew members including BD1, fought back against the oppression of the Sith, collected a ton of stuff, and collected all the trophies, congratulations! You will be awarded the A New Hope Platinum Trophy for Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Overall, I really enjoyed this romp of a trophy run. It gets out of its own way so you can enjoy the story, and then it gives you a bunch of collectibles to seek out and combat trophies to tackle. It's very PlayStation Studios-esque, which I know was their inspiration with games like God of War, Uncharted, and maybe even Horizon Zero Dawn. Respawn was successfully able to do what Guerrilla Games did, going from a studio known for FPS games to an action-adventure title. And while some of the collectible grabbing experience can be frustrating with the map being the way it is, I still think this trophy run is a great one for any Star Wars fans out there. I haven't played a Star Wars game in a while, so it's great to remember how good a lot of them are. The Force Unleashed, KOTOR, the PS2 era of Star Wars Battlefront games, there is no shortage, so let me know if you want me to cover some of them. That is other than Jedi Survivor, because you don't even have to ask for that one. I'm grabbing that boy day one. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this highly requested game. You guys voted for me to tackle it and get into it, and I really enjoyed it. You guys have good taste. Big Star Wars fan here, so let me know if you want me to cover any more Star Wars games in the future aside from Jedi Survivor. I really mean it. There's a lot of great ones out there. Aspire Media even did an amazing job with a lot of the ports that came out for older Star Wars games. Let me know down in the comments section if there's any you want me to cover in guide form. I hope all your trophy hunting expeditions go incredibly well, Padawans, and peace out.